Hey, my name is Shadowsense and you're watching Vampire the Masquerade, Shadows of New York. We were just embraced by a mysterious woman in the subway. And once again, I find myself in Big Beat Burger. We just got fired from our job. Technically, it wasn't actually our job, but we got fired, more or less, and then we killed one of our sources for a story that was going to reveal a mysterious Montgomery as a racist, a fraud, and a sex pest, so maybe we'll kill him in the future. Who knows? Familiar surroundings, faces I recognize, mood same as it ever was. Still, I process it in an entirely different way. It all frustrates me now. Or more precisely, makes me frustrated with myself. It's like I'm clinging on to the remnants of the cocoon I've outgrown. Ugh. I got hotter after turning into a vampire, which I just assume that's what happens when you become a vampire, you just get hotter. It's the same with these cigarettes. I don't need them anymore, so why do I keep holding on to them? Fucking hell. It's like I refuse to accept that I'm something better than I used to be. A vampire. Just 2 nights ago, I met Karen. She embraced me, by which I mean turned me into a kindred. She calls herself my sire and me her child. Last night she taught me the basics of survival, drinking blood, manipulating humans, bending steel, controlling shadows. Tonight I expected more lessons. Instead, she just told me to go out and enjoy myself. What's the catch? I asked, to which she responded, I might kill you if you prove to be a disappointment. There are a few rules. I have to uphold the Masquerade. I can't contact anyone I knew as a human. Can't let anyone realize I'm not human anymore. I can't embrace anyone, and so on. Otherwise, I'm free to do whatever I want. But for some reason, the first thing I did was come back here. Old habits die hard. Karen is probably watching me from somewhere even now. The way I understand it, tomorrow night she is supposed to introduce me to the Camarilla, a local society of vampires. Turns out that they are the ones who have been systematically ruining my life lately. All a part of some secret evaluation that I barely passed. Just imagining the reach they have makes me dizzy. After they destroyed the old me that I barely cared about, Karen rebuilt me anew. On one hand, her test left some scars that will take some time to heal. On the other hand, maybe I should just be grateful? I am snapped out of my thoughts by a sudden scream. Some douchebag yelling about his french fries not being salty enough. I think this is my cue to leave, permanently. Goodbye, BBB. I hope to never see you again. I'm destined for greater things, you see. Okay, so we're in the same, like, neighborhood. Oh, I can choose, okay. Meathead bully and his unfortunate victim. Time to swing a little more on the devil's dance floor. Go to the club. We can go clubbing. This Tinder addict smells like a bit of a loser and a wannabe intellectual. A perfect source of nourishment. You know what? Let's take care of the bully. 2 men are facing each other in a dark back alley. One of them stands with his back against the wall, his chest heaving as he's struggling to catch his breath. People! Anybody out there? I'm being robbed! A brawny, rugged guy is yelling at metal staircases with theatrical incredulity in his voice. With a lively step, he dances around an older man who's having trouble finding his footing. What is this bullshit? Oh, so now you can talk. Good, because I'm dying to hear what you did to my wallet, Holmes. Wallet? I have no idea what you're talking about. The goon starts prancing around like a Muay Thai boxer. He's smiling, but his eyes send a clear message. You're cornered, buddy. Don't even try to pull a fast one on me. Come on, homeboy. You may be able to trick an average Joe on the street with your act, but a fighter recognizes a fighter. It's like an animal thing. It's an instinct thing. You've got some moves on you. You're like shit. You're like a black mamba. Lightning fast reflexes. He starts shadowboxing for a moment. The man's definitely got energy to spare. However, I'm like a king cobra. You've met your match. 2 apex predators now locked in battle. Oh, so you're seeing snakes? That would explain some of this. Before he's able to finish, a sucker punch knocks the air right out of his lungs. The old man slides down the wall. Before he can let out a groan, he's interrupted by a brutal kick to the chest. That's what I'm talking about, a fighting spirit, even when you're cornered. Ugh. Take a seat. Deep breath. Collect your thoughts before you speak up again. Remember where you put my wallet now? I'm pretty sure you broke my rib. An eye for an eye, a rib for a ribbing. Biblical punishment. It's only fair, homie. Fair? At least admit that this is a mugging. Wallet my ass. Still in denial. Okay, let's say I had about $5,000 in there. Give me $6,000 and I'll let you walk away relatively unharmed. So you admit it. Admit what? This is not about proper compensation. This is a robbery. Look, buddy, this is beginning to ignore me. Unless you want me to go all Anderson Silva on your ass, give me what I want. Anderson Silva? Yeah, Anderson Silva. Flying knee, meeting your solar plexus, the man, the myth, the legend. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Thai boxing, Western boxing, Taekwondo, Wing Chun, and Capoeira combined into a single fighting style that can only be described as straight-up murder. I've been studying the glorious singularity that is Anderson Silva for years. Every move I have, I owe to him. So if you don't want the snake to turn into a deadly spider, show me the money, honey. Summer 2013, Las Vegas. What the fuck is happening? Huh? Watched it live on pay-per-view. Weidman saw through all of Silva's tricks. Whipped his ass, broke his spirit, showed him for the fraud he is. Man hasn't been the same ever since. All the empty showboating, hollow taunting, drunk on his own Kool-Aid. Jesus, of course you idolize him, asshole. For a good minute, the goon silently looks down at the whimpering man at his feet, chewing on his lower lip. When he finally speaks up, his voice betrays an intent to kill. You know what, homeboy? Screw the money. This is a matter of honor now. My thoughts exactly. Ha. He raises his fist. We've got ourselves a mixed martial artist expert here, huh? For your own sake, I hope you can back up that talk with some self-defense skills, homie. This is pathetic. Yeah, what? Boosting your self-esteem by beating up an injured old geezer? God damn, you're pathetic. He jumps at the sound of my voice, turns my way in the blink of an eye, and immediately assumes a combat stance. His reflexes are sharp. Looks like he has at least this much to back up all of his bravado. Wannabe Anderson Silva's face betrays utter confusion upon seeing me. He's got no idea how I managed to sneak up on him. I don't blame him. I wouldn't be able to explain it myself. Felt like I became one with the darkness, my pure consciousness traversing a dusky dreamscape, jumping from one shadow to another as if they were different trains of thought. I think of some experiences I've had with psychedelics. Every blink and adventure, I was outside of this alley. Blink. I was outside of this alley. Blink. I was above the alley. Blink. Now I'm in front of this guy. And he pisses me off. The older man slumps down. Looks like he was trying his best to keep it together and gave up once the cavalry arrived. The goon regains his composure and barks at me in an overly gruff way. Now you sneaking around here for, Chica? Move along, this is between men. Not anymore. His fist turns towards me. I'm serious, I'm an equal opportunity ass kicker. I respond to the threat the brightest, most innocent, virginal smile I can put on. So you're into shadow boxing, huh? Something comes over me. I can feel the darkness embracing me, whispering sweet nothings in my ear, pumping me up for what's to come. Low spinning sweep. I've always wanted to try this. I zoom in, duck below his fist, and sweep him off his feet with a powerful roundhouse kick. It's probably the dumbest, flashiest thing I could have done, but I'm feeling more confident than ever. He flies into the air, only managing not to fall because of the wall behind him. I know what he's thinking. I should have blocked it, and he absolutely should have. But instead, he just flailed his arms helplessly as if he suddenly found himself in front of an oncoming train. A primal expression of fear that suddenly and completely took him over. I don't know how I look right now, but judging by his expression, my best guess is like the gaping maw of some primordial beast. I follow up the surprise attack with another punch at the solar plexus, or at least my nearest estimate. Once again, the effect terrifies even myself. Looks like my hunch was correct and I hit the right spot. He falls to the floor, whining like a wounded animal, tears streaming down his face. I let him collect himself a bit, and then grab him by his chin. Learn to choose your battles, homeboy. Let me go. For Christ's sake, just let me go. I kick him in the direction of the alley entrance. He staggers off, quickly disappearing from my sight. I check on his victim. Looks like he's conscious. Wow, you whooped his ass, girl. But hasn't noticed anything out of order. Good. I was getting worried that I might have overdone it a bit. That woman did say to keep a low profile will be crucial if I want to survive. You alright? Need help? He manages to stand up. His smile is strained, but it suggests he's fine, or at least trying his best to seem fine. No, you gave me all the help I needed and then some. Thank you, Miss... What's your name? Jessica. Thanks, Jessica. I was worried for a second, but this asshole's bark was worse than his bite. Probably in worse shape than me. Guess that counts as a victory. I'd better be going. My wife is probably worried sick. But before that, if there's anything I could do to repay you. Just be more careful. Forget about it. Just be a little more careful in the future, alright? True heroine always refuses compensation for her help. This is how I think things should go. Never thought I'd help someone in a street fight. Here's something else, Jessica. You ever wanted to try your skills in the octagon? Too much in love with my gorgeous face to see it bruised, battered, and swollen. Sorry. I hear you. Whatever you do next, God bless you. And there he goes. God, huh? Feel like one right now. No more worrying about being out after midnight. No more feeling uneasy whenever I spot a shady asshole across the street ever. Hell, I could start jogging in Central Park after midnight now. Not that I need to. The future's looking bright. Oh, do I get to do all three before the night's over? That would be nice. But then I feel like I'm gonna have more choices at some point. Let's go clubbing. Hey, it's the club. It's that club again. Definitely got some reused assets, which, you know what, I'm fine with. This club reeks of death and I love it. I've been here quite a few times, but I've never seen anything this breathtaking. Everyone around me is whacked out of their minds, and as they keep dancing madly, the spirits dance beside them. Spectral silhouettes phase in and out of existence, becoming more visible and more intense the more intense the music grows. It looks like a bizarre ritual, a profane mass. I notice it's the voice samples the ghosts react to the strongest. The most suggestive ones cause them to appear distorted, even tormented. Wait, I can see ghosts? That's fucking cool. It's as if something was struggling to be born out of the harsh sounds, and the dead were hoping to be reborn alongside it. They're all uneasy, quivering with desire for something far beyond their reach. Probably the same as when they were alive. Sometimes the living dancers spot their dead counterparts. It's usually the most manic ones who notice something out of the corner of their eye for only a split second, but never realize what they've glimpsed. Some apparitions dance to a completely different tune than the rest of us, only they can hear. Those seem the saddest. The spectacle is eerie. At times it's unbearably melancholic. Above all, it's beautiful. I keep on moving to the rhythm until I reach a trance-like state, and then something even stranger happens. Every now and then, when I brush against someone, a fragmentary vision appears before my eyes. A car burning on the freeway, an outstretched hand in the depths of the sea, a man jumping out of a skyscraper window. Memories of the past? Preventable visions of the future? I have no idea what it means, but I'm strangely eager to find out. Hello? Does that say Nightcore? Did that shirt say Jesus loves Nightcore? Now I'm just thinking about Jesus on the cross listening to Dum Dotty Doo, or fucking Angel of Darkness. And then there are dancers like her, the ones that aren't ghosts, humans, or even vampires, but something else altogether. This new world is full of mysteries, and I plan to get to the bottom of them all. But for now, I just want to dance. Wow, what a night. I watch Times Square from above. It's beautiful. Never thought this place could make me emotional, to be honest. But here I am, feeling deeply moved. Who would have thought? Getting up here was surprisingly easy, all things considered. It took more thought than physical effort. Earlier tonight, I started experimenting with this body's limits. I realized I could jump over small buildings and climb steep walls with ease now, and my whole perception of space shifted. I planned a scenic route across the rooftops. Did my best to avoid attracting attention, just as I was told. Stayed in the shadows as much as humanly possible. I spot a drone from afar. For a second I feel uneasy, but I remember what she told me. Machines won't get a clear view of me anymore. Camera footage, photos, it's all glitched out or blurry. Wouldn't take it for granted if I didn't try to catch my reflection earlier on. I couldn't see my face clearly, not in the mirror, not even in a puddle. My face was like one of the Dolly's clocks. She told me to keep a low profile regardless. Someone might take note and track you down. She didn't care to elaborate, but it didn't sound encouraging. Suddenly it hits me that I might never be able to see my own face again. I won't even be able to take care of my looks by myself. What about the long-term psychological effects? Hang on, can I like... Oh, my traits, okay. That's just the log. That's the dictionary. Okay, that's the menu. I just want this as a thumbnail, but I don't know how to... Oops. Let me go back. Sorry, I get this, but I accidentally hit control and I guess that jumps forward. A knot of anxiety tightens in my stomach. Jesus, this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. What else is going to change? Calm down. Wait a second. These past few nights have been the best of my life. For years, I was on a downward spiral. Failing health, no future. Feeling of overwhelming powerlessness. Now everything has been flipped upside down. A total paradigm shift. A bad ending is no longer the only option. I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow. I forgot how that feels. Where it used to stand at mere seconds to midnight, the doomsday clock has been effectively turned off. A cold breeze brushes my cheek. As stupid as it sounds, I could choose to read it as the world telling me to chin up. I can bend anyone to my will. I'm capable of superhuman strength. I'm a master of shadows. I can do anything. Tomorrow night, I will be introduced to my duties. If everything goes according to plan, I will become a New York City representative of Clan La Sombra. Interesting clan choice for this game. Okay. Whoever they are, whatever that means, I have no idea what to expect. But tonight is tonight. I'm free. All my worries from a month ago feel like they belong to someone else. Finally, things are looking up. March 2020. Oh, the month and year that the world fucking died. Back at it again at Big Beat Burger. Familiar sounds, familiar smells, familiar faces. Yet again, I'm recalling that night when everything finally seemed to change for the better. I mean, it's not like I wasn't expecting everything to go back to the old depressing normal. Even in the thick of it, the rational part of me recognized my state as temporary. Even with these highs, there's always a hope it won't end, or maybe that an ego death will finally occur. Be satisfied, you stupid fucking bitch, I command you. Here's all the logical evidence for why you should be satisfied. Here's the obvious direction for your life, and here's a detailed explanation of how you should treat the people that care for you. No dice. I always fall back into the same old habits. It's like they were encoded deep in my DNA. The aimlessness, the powerlessness, the spiritual exhaustion, these goddamn fast food trips. Stupid fucking self-loathing, now amplified whenever to drink somebody's blood. Maybe I should just blame it all on the misfortune of my birth. You do this social climbing until you dissociate, and then you're just this untethered, constantly frustrated ball of dumb desires. Except I'm sort of immortal right now, and I need to figure out what to do next. I watched this obscure Asian movie once. Ali Ali Lima Sabachthani? Probably butchering that pronunciation. Starring Tadanobu Asano, one of the coolest guys in the world. Plays this Merzbow-like figure, a legendary noise musician. There's this mysterious virus spreading around the world, causing despair and mass suicides. A rich CEO's granddaughter gets sick and longs to die, so he spends a fortune searching for the cure. Turns out Asano and his friend, played by this violent onsen geisha guy, are traveling through Japan, searching the corpse-strewn towns and fields for any unique item that could produce beautiful sounds. As it turns out, the avant-garde walls of noise they create are able to heal the infected. The CEO begs the band to help, offering them all the money they want, but for some reason they refuse. Through a series of flashbacks, concerts, and vignettes, a mystery unfolds. Eventually, we realize that Asano's music is not just a remedy, it's also the cause of the virus. Whenever it connects people, they get this hunger for more extreme, more novel experiences. And eventually they hit a wall. Nothing can satisfy them anymore. They lose their will to live. Not even musicians are spared from this curse. They know the end will come sooner or later. The girl is saved by a mind-blowing concert, but the tragedy is merely postponed, not averted. The last shot of a Jesus-like Asano silently considering his role as savior and destroyer stayed with me. The form of the film is abrasive. Little to no narrative coherence, some weird cartoonish creative choices, the Japanese noise soundtrack, the very free-form and hard-to-understand weave of themes. But at this point, movies like this are all that truly connect with me. I am the New York representative of the Lasombra clan now, also known as the Night Clan. They are masters of shadows, who cast distorted reflections and make modern tech go haywire in their presence. Last year, a few months before I was embraced, the Lasombra joined with Camarilla, the biggest and most traditional sect in the vampire world. The two groups actually used to fight each other, but our leaders found some intel that made them reconsider their strategy. So they sent a diplomatic mission to parley with their historical enemies. The deal they got in Chicago was simple. An unlife for an unlife. For every Lasombra vampire allowed in the ivory tower, one Lasombra vampire has to meet their ultimate end. Still remember the name of the woman who met her final death, so I could begin my own life. Her name was Hester Reed, a sworn enemy of the Camarilla, a guerrilla fighter who spent decades opposing them. She was someone with far better principles than mine, from what I've gathered. Well, whoever she was, her execution by my sire served to convince the NYC elites to give us Lasombra a chance. Then they set out to look for a mutually agreed upon candidate who would become the clan's rep in the city. My sire searched for someone who gave the impression that she was more than she appeared. The local court was looking for someone they could walk all over. After long negotiations, they decided I was a good compromise. They proceeded to systematically destroy my entire life just to make me show I was psychologically strong enough to join their ranks. Their turncoat special, they called it. Somehow I succeeded. And eventually led me right to where I started. I stopped writing and put my pen down. She was in the last game, right? Right? No, I think different name, different person. I don't know. I'll correct myself, I'm sure. Will that be all? Yes, Miss Duval. I hope you enjoy your stay in London. Oh, I very much doubt it. Oh, I very much doubt I will. Just like every cultured person, I think the only good Englishman is a dead Englishman. Fucked up serial killer, privileged scum, just get the hell out. At least you're headed there to kill some of the Duskborn you hate so much. One of the benefits of being a scourge, if there's one thing this world is never in shortage of, it's loathsome runoffs who forfeited the right to live. Okay, I need to open up the diary here. Duskborn. Okay, so she's gonna go kill some Thin Bloods. And the Scourge, a very unpleasant person whose sole task is to hunt down vampires who were born wrong. Gotcha. So, a genocidal freak. That will be all. Tell Kadir I said hello and farewell. I know Kadir! Safe travels. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, psycho. Oh, well. I'm the lone La Sombra in this town, and my representational role means jack shit. No title, no perks, no whatever. Right now, I'm the court's gopher, doing all sorts of work nobody else will touch. My main duties? Being a sort of immigration officer. See, New York City is probably the biggest vampire travel hub in the USA, and definitely the biggest one in the East Coast. Almost every kindred arriving from Africa and Europe comes through here. The local Camarilla is nuts about bureaucracy and population control, so every vampire leaving or arriving in this town is supposed to check with me to inform me about their travels. Well, in theory at least, the VIPs play by different rules. They take care of this stuff through connections to servants. But for the smaller fish, I'm like a vampire Statue of Liberty. The first bloodsucker every kindred coming to NYC should see, on paper anyway. The first after the Prince, or Kadir, the Primogen Council. These things vary. Yeah, I'm a naturally traitorous La Sombra, so they still prefer being traditional and hands-on about these things. As I said, at the end of the day, I'm just a gopher, and this only works to serve to remind me that I'm not quite in, just standing at the gate. They haven't even given me an office. I just meet everyone in public places such as coffee shops or this fast food restaurant. Some consider this an insult and lash out at me, but luckily most of them understand we're in the same boat. Only here because we're curs who need to be reminded of our place from time to time. Speaking of, my last client is 15 minutes late, and I still have more errands to run tonight. This is getting irritating. To be honest, I should just find some self-respect and leave. But I won't. My sorry upbringing left me with a stupid sense of responsibility. 10 more minutes pass. Eventually, an unfamiliar woman appears by the door. She tells someone to stand by the door and walks in. Long chestnut hair, body stuck in her late teens by the look of it, fashionable scarf covering most of her face, elegant clothes, dignified walk. I signal her to sit in front of me, trying my best not to let my impatience show. She obliges. Took your sweet time, huh? One day, and it will be a beautiful day, I will learn how to keep all this bitterness in and stop getting in trouble. Sorry, Miss Sawinski, was it? Not exactly the kind of place we expected. She's scanning her surroundings like we're at a circus. I hope you won't mind if I make it quick. I'm needed in Elysium. Name? Catherine Weiss. Huh. Sorry I've heard that name before. Someone else's description of her crosses my mind. That weird lady who owns the art hole but is never there? Weird? So it is her. Catherine Weiss, the owner of the art hole, de facto headquarters in the New York City Camarilla. For fuck's sake, Julia, what are you doing calling her weird right off the bat? God knows you've already made a fool of yourself in front of enough VIPs into this city. Recover. I'm sorry, it's just that I still don't know many people there, so I have to go by descriptions I've given by members of the Primogen. Well, the description is mostly correct. Aside of that one word that slightly perplexes me. Pot calling the kettle black sounds like. Oh, from what I gathered, it's just that your interests are rumored to be, not fully aligned with the Camarillas, and that irks some folks up there. Being a keeper of the Elysium is not enough for some, I see. I suspected as much, but what can you do? She seems chill. Good. Anyway, Catherine Weiss. Wow. Yes, you want me to spell it? People often have trouble getting it right. Forgive my indiscretion, it's just that people of your stature usually don't bother checking in with me. They usually report their arrival to one of the Primogen, and they make all the arrangements. I heard Prince Panhard is busy with preparations for her big party. I assumed that if I spared her some paperwork, she'd appreciate it as a gesture of goodwill. Besides, I wanted to meet the infamous La Sombra representative out of sheer curiosity. My interest is piqued once I heard about her. She looks around knowingly. Unique circumstances. Yes. Prince Helene Panhard had trouble justifying the exorbitant rent my property would need. That's literally pennies for her. And as far as I know, she's been sitting on an empty property since last year. Looks like they've got it out for you. Bad. That's what I assumed, but it's nice to get a confirmation. Well, it's not like my clan has ever been particularly popular in these parts. At least not what I've heard. Sins of the father and so on. Yes, just to make sure. You've never met Hester, but you know of her? I do know I wouldn't be here if not for her. Have you two met? No, I only heard of her once or twice. We had similar outlooks on many issues, although we tended to come up with completely different solutions. In any case, I think it's meaningful that Hester died so that you could live. They feared her. Now they fear you, and that's why they're keeping you down. If anyone who's not a VIP said this to me, I'd laugh in their face. Oh, I get what she's doing. She's trying to buy my favors. Best not to act like I'm easy to please. Stick to business. Time will tell. In the meantime, I'll need you to help me out with some of my documentation. Of course. So where are you coming from? Washington, D.C. She says it the way people in Hollywood movies say it. The way that suggests her Washington is wildly different from the Washington you and I would see. What were you doing there? Take a guess. Government work? Write that down. It ought to amuse Helene a little bit. If you say so. Date and hour of arrival? She takes out a plane ticket and slides it towards me. It's all here. 1 a.m. Got it. Method of transit plane. Purpose of visit. Meeting with Prince ought to work just fine. I guess. Estimated duration of visit? Undefined. Write in 6 months if you really need to. Place of accommodation. Conditions of intended stay. The art hole. Conditions should be adequate. You tell me. I tend to be happy with Airbnb. Home sweet home? I'm not certain that I've ever felt particularly at home here. That makes 2 of us. Curious. Do you have nothing holding you here? The face of a blonde-haired friend appears in my mind's eye, then vanishes. There's nothing holding me anywhere. I see. A prolonged silence. She stares into my eyes and I return the stare. She's studying me. It's unnerving, but I do my best not to turn away. Eventually, she smiles. Didn't you say you were short on time? Oh, God, yes. Kadir will kill me. I quickly begin to collect my stuff from underneath the table. You can simply inform him that I paid you a visit. Words is hard. You can simply inform him that I paid you a visit. He'll understand, and he'll pass it on to everyone who should be in the know. Sure thing. Good. We will see each other soon, I hope. The party tomorrow night? I wasn't invited. She gives me a pitying look. I understand. Well, if not given the opportunity, we should make our own. I'll be in touch. Good night, Miss Weiss. I wish you a pleasant stay. Good night. And don't rush these things. You've got your whole life ahead of you, and you're in a position where you can take it easy. Take your time. Get a different perspective. I nod and walk slowly out the door. When I lose sight of the restaurant, I sprint towards the subway. Slow night. My dude! My dude! I wish. You're late again, by the way. I hope you have a good excuse. Kadir al-Azmai, the mighty sheriff of New York City, is not happy with me. No wonder. I met him in front of Elysium 30 minutes later than the time we had agreed on. Alright. We will take it from there in the next episode. My mind went blank for a second. I'm enjoying this so far. This is also making me want to really just start hammering away at my vampire novel again. Anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one, please consider subscribing. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.